Hey there, so welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've watched my previous videos. But anyways, so here is a little bit of a different build. In the other two builds that I've done are more residential, but this one is actually a commercial building. And this one is specifically a restaurant. And I actually just got the cats and dogs expansion pack. So we are going to use a lot of cats and dogs items in this, a lot of decor items. I think I use a lot of like floors and a lot of furnitures as well. So that'll be kind of interesting. So if you have the new cats and dogs expansion pack, then this will be pretty, I think if you download it, it'll be pretty good for you to play with all the items in it. I know I definitely use a couple of items from other stuff packs, or not just stuff packs, but other packs in general. The dine out, of course, because this is a restaurant, I do use a lot of dine out items. So I have like the kitchen stuff, like some of that like commercial grill, and then I have the waiter station, the hostess station, that kind of stuff. But yeah, so this is a little bit of a different kind of build as well. So in the past I've done more modern builds, and this one is a little bit more rustic, but my idea was that it is rustic, but it has it had a little bit of a facelift at the back. So at the back you can see there's obviously like really big windows, things like that. So it's kind of like an older building turned into a more modern, upgraded restaurant. So yeah, anyways, just getting in some of the windows. I like a lot of the windows, especially you can kind of see the front has like the more traditional windows that maybe the game used with its original home, or not home, but original kind of build. And then the back has the more modern windows. So I like a lot of the windows, but I don't know, I didn't really like the door that much. It's a little bit different. So yeah. Now if you download this build, it will say that it has 2 floors, but it actually only has 1. I just used the second floor as kind of, I don't know what you would call it, it just has a second floor. It's like a 2-story entrance, not really just entrance, but the spine of like the build is just 2 stories, but you can't actually get to the second level. It's just, I don't know, just walls on the second floor. But the way I'm building this is kind of interesting. So I'm doing a lot of detailed work at the beginning, and usually I do detailed work at the very end. So usually I'll do the building, and then I will do the interior, like the layout, and then furnishing, and then the last step will be decor. But now I'm getting really detailed into the build right now, when I haven't even done like the inside layout or anything like that. And the reason for that is actually this is my second time building the, I keep saying house, building the restaurant. The first time I did record it, and for some reason the footage got really laggy, and I honestly couldn't use it. So I refilmed the entire thing. This isn't actually like the original build. The original build looks slightly different, but it to be honest looks pretty much the same. But yeah, so I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew how it looked like, so I just kind of did a lot of the detailed work beforehand. But yeah, so I think I finished with the entire exterior actually, like even down, yeah, to the landscape and stuff like that. So yeah, but I'm just putting in a little bit of a sign. But this sign kind of gave me trouble because I couldn't really put anything on the sign, like the words on the sign. I mean, yeah, because it was really high in terms of like the height, and I don't know, it was giving me trouble. So I think eventually I size it up so the wording can clip to the sign nicely. Yeah. What am I doing? Just getting in some more landscaping. Yeah, it was a little bit tough because a lot of my landscaping are right next to the foundation, and the foundation, it just like lifts the items up. So I had to make sure all of them were not floating. But yeah. So again, like usually I don't do any of this stuff. I usually save this to last. But this was done in my previous build, so, and I really liked it, so I just kept it. But the landscaping is pretty minimal. I don't have too much. And I decided to do a little bit of a pathway using the terrain paints, which I think is kind of interesting. Usually I do like tile or something like that. So yeah. If you guys are wondering, I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of echoey in this room. I'm recording this in a different sort of setup, so it is a little bit, I mean, I can hear myself as my voice echoes, and if I'm talking quiet, I don't know. I'm also filming like in a public space, so I don't want to be too loud as well. But yeah, I think this will become like a normal thing, just because when I filmed the previous videos, I was at home, and now since I'm back at school, I have to find some like quiet spaces to film. So yeah, and I could film in my room, but I don't know, at home it's pretty loud. But yeah, so also I'm using the cats and dogs, what is it? The like wall paint, I guess, as well as the cats and dogs flooring. So yeah, like I said, I'm using a lot of cats and dogs, and if you can see the front door, that's also cats and dogs as well. But I decided to get a little bit detailed on the interior. I liked the idea of like the spine of this build, so you can see like there's a lot of the walls kind of flow with the main building. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well, but I decided to add in archways as well. And yeah, and I realized that there's no like, what is it called, spandrel or something like that? I've never actually heard that term before, but spandrel above the half walls, but I'll fix that later on. This is the kitchen. It also has some like spandrels in it too, which I thought was kind of interesting. I don't know if that's really legal, if you can do that, but we're doing it. Yeah, so I did put in the commercial sort of grill. I have 2 refrigerators. Pretty simple, things like that. Yeah, and so the kitchen part definitely looks very different. I mean, it still has the old windows, like the ones you can see. I think those are from Get Together, but it's a pretty open, clean space, good for commercial cooking. And I did have a little bit of trouble furnishing this room, especially because the walls, I think, are the medium-sized walls. So again, I have a lot of like vertical space and didn't really know what to do with it. So the kitchen does look a little bit kind of bland. So yeah. But also putting in the cats and dogs, I think that's from Cats and Dogs, the chandelier kind of thing. I really like that. It kind of has a like leather, maybe iron as well. I think that's really cool. I would really like to incorporate that more into my builds. But this is the bar area, and I really liked it. If you guys are wondering, this is actually inspired by a real life place that I went to. And I mean, it doesn't look that cool or anything, but I like the idea of like the bar on like the side, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I added one, and then I put some plants above the counters because I like to bring a little bit of green from the outside into the inside. Yeah, and it actually has 2 bars as well, so great for if you want to have some bar seating. And then there is a coffee maker. I guess there's like the grinder and the coffee maker as well in the bar. So you don't necessarily have to get some juice or whatever, you can get some coffee. But this is the bathroom. This is the only part that I don't really like about the build, so I wish that there was 2 bathrooms. Like one for his, one for hers kind of deal. But I really like the way the bathroom turned out. I think it's kind of cool. The only thing is that because it's not like 2 bathrooms, this bathroom is like huge. But you know, it's fine. I mean, in real life, it probably wouldn't make sense, but in The Sims, I don't think that many people really use the bathroom all at once, so you can get away with it. Yeah, again, doing a lot of the detailed work because I actually already did this build. This is just my second time doing it. So this is the entrance, kind of like foyer area. I thought it was kind of nice to have like a little nook before you get into the actual restaurant. But I'm just stacking bookshelves here. I'm actually not really sure why I did this. I don't know why I just didn't make that corridor between the bathroom and the entrance like a 2x2. I don't really know why I added this bookshelf in, but a little extra storage, who cares? So just putting the sign in, putting the menu board, which I thought that was kind of nice, especially because this is a restaurant. And yeah, I used that like netting above the bookshelf, which I think I like the way that turned out. I think that's kind of cool. I'm definitely trying to use a lot of like cats and dogs items. I think at one point I even filter all the items by cats and dogs just to make sure I'm using like a lot of the items. So yeah, and then I just put in some seating at the front, and that's pretty much it. That's all the furniture I really put in the front door area. Well, in addition to the hostess stand as well. But even like the chandelier, that little ball lamp, that's also from cats and dogs. And then the 3 chairs, or the 3 colored chairs, the red, the yellow, and the green. I use that a lot throughout the build. I think those are like the main colors. So all the tables in the main eating area have that. But yeah, so I guess the main colors are like that red, yellow, and green. Although I also put tables outside, and the yellow and the green, I guess the sunlight looks like they're the same color. With the sunlight, they look like the same color. So it just looks like it's like yellow and red outside. But yeah, so I have the cats and dogs tables as well. Those like really large slab wood tables that are very rustic looking. And I really like this build too because it's kind of rustic, but it's not too rustic. Like it doesn't, I don't think it looks that like old and like rickety, but it still has a little bit of character. So that's kind of nice. And then here is kind of like a private dining area. It's not that private because it's open obviously, but it does have a little bit of a separator with that, with those half walls and the archways and things like that. And it just has a 4-seater as well as a 2-seater. Also, there is a private dining room as well, the room next to the kitchen. That is a private dining area, and that is for, I don't know, like a large party or something. Honestly, I'm probably making this build way too realistic because I also don't think that many Sims visit the lot because I actually put a lot of tables in. There's a lot of like 2-seaters. There's a couple of 4-seaters, and then there's a couple of 3-seaters as well. If you do have a bigger party, you can use that private dining area, which has the cats and dogs, the larger table, the 3x1 table, so you can put, I think, 6 Sims in that. Yeah, and also doing more of the plants above or on a shelf. I like that idea. It's kind of nice. I've never really done that before in any builds. So yeah, and then this is the private dining room. So yeah, just using that cats and dogs table, continuing the cabinetry on this little nook here. And I really like the way that this turned out. It's kind of like a nice place to put all your things if you're having a party. And again, I'm using, I think this is cats and dogs, right? Yeah, I'm using the cats and dogs curtains as well. The only thing though is that they come up a little bit short, but honestly in gameplay I don't think you'll really notice, so I just kept that in. You can definitely see they come off like a foot from the ground, which isn't ideal, especially because the windows are, floor to ceiling, but that's okay. Yeah, and then I think, just doing the exterior if you want to, or not exterior, just doing some of the outdoor furnishing if your sim really does want to dine outside. And then I'm just kind of finishing off with a lot of like detailed work. Oh, I also put some archways on the second floor as well because I thought it would be a little bit weird to only put it on the first floor. But again, there's no livable space on the second floor. It's just kind of there for extra height. And again, using a lot of cats and dogs items. I think almost all of the paintings are cats and dogs, but don't hold me to that. I could be wrong, but I really like the cats and dogs expansion pack. It's really great. I love a lot of the furniture, and especially the paintings. I like them because it's not just like a recolor of the frame, it's also different pictures as well, and I think that is so cool because you can use multiple of those in a build and not make it look really like repetitive, so that's quite nice. Yeah, so just doing a lot of the decorations now, and I'm not sure how long this video is. Oh, it's 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, just adding more tables outside. Honestly, there's like probably way too many tables, but that's okay. You can just take some of them out if you want. It is a little bit cramped, but not too bad. It is a very big build. It even has like a private dining area, which is not really necessary in builds. Yeah, just doing a lot of detailed work at this point. I do realize that these windows kind of clip through the like roofs. You can see kind of like the shutters are cut off by the roof, but we won't look too far into that. Yeah, so this is what it looks like in the daytime. I think the screenshots, most of them are at night because I just like the way that it turned out. Yeah, I think it looks good in daytime or nighttime. Anyways, I added a lot of those speakers, but I scaled them down. I don't know if that's a problem in gameplay. It could be because like people just might dance in your restaurant instead of actually eating. So that might be a problem. But anyways, here are the screenshots, just a couple of them in the daytime, and then I also included the ones at night. And if you guys are wondering, I did not put in my favorite sloth painting in the build, but if you download it, it will have it in, and I'm not going to tell you where it is because you're going to have to find it yourself, but I think it'll be pretty easy. It's not that bad. But yeah, so just these are some of the exterior shots, and my favorite is like the exterior. The inside is okay too, but I really like the exterior. This is the foyer kind of entrance area, the very large bathroom, the other side of the bathroom. This is the main dining area with a lot of the Sims in it and eating and playing in the actual game. This is the semi-private room, and I realize there's no curtains on the second floor, which I should probably put in. And then this is the private dining area, and I think the last one is the kitchen. So yeah. Anyways, I think that is it, and thanks for watching. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.